What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James. I'm in these streets, in these work streets again. It got a little bit warmer today, so that's a good thing. Shout out to my baby girl. She's headed out to Florida, so please throw a prayer up for her and her daughter, Natalia. They're headed down to Florida. They're going to Disney World. She got a band trip, and they're leaving today at 2:30. 16-hour trip. I don't like this weather. So they got a 16-hour trip. It's a charter bus. They're going down there and they'll be back next Tuesday. So please, if you have any prayer, do you believe in God or anything like that, please throw a prayer up for both of those and everybody on the bus and everybody within the school, but especially for my boo thing and Natalia, my stepdaughter Natalia. So let's jump right into it. Making this video today because the Dallas Cowboys actually started their head coaching search. They are going to interview three candidates, and I'm going to tell you a candidate that they're saying that he's very interested and he would take the job. That's what the word is, but I don't believe until I see it. And then another person has just come up in my own. People have always asked me, "Well, who do you want?" And I told y'all the other day I like Deion Sanders. He would be my number one guy. But guess what? There's another guy that just came on the scene that I loved as a player. He's over there doing his damn thing at another organization, and just listening to him, just watching him, he's jumped up in my search as a coach for the Dallas Cowboys now. All right, so. We're in these streets, we're in these work streets. So when you see the pause, you know what it is. So let's jump right into it. Like I said, there's three interviews, one dark horse, and a name that just came up that I personally like myself, and I definitely would like this in my heart for it to happen as a coach coming to the Dallas Cowboys. So one of the first interviews that have been set up, I don't know the exact dates. I think a Saturday and a Monday. Robert Saleh, formerly the head coach of the New York Jets. He was there for about 3 years. And in his 3-year tenure, wasn't the greatest. Started out 4-13, 7-10, 7-10. And then we saw the last season that kind of just took it over the edge with Aaron Rodgers coming back. It was supposed to be the big thing, Aaron Rodgers coming to the Jets. They had Zach Wilson. That was a total disaster. He had Mike White over there as the quarterback. Mike White actually played with the Dallas Cowboys. I wish they would have kept Mike White. I think he would have been a good backup. Had a great interview when he was with the Cowboys personally. So I always liked Mike White. But if you look at the tenure from Saleh, he was the defensive coordinator over the San Francisco 49ers, and you saw they had a pretty good defense. A lot of people liked him over there, but it just didn't transition over into the head coaching spot as far as the New York Jets. Things just didn't work out. If you're asking me about Robert Saleh, I'm going to say that's a no for me. Not because I don't think he can't be a head coach in this league again. I think he can. I think Robert Saleh can be a head coach in the NFL again, just not in Dallas. He ain't built for this. I'm not saying he ain't built for it as a person because I don't know him personally. But in my opinion, I don't think the Joneses, Jerry, would just really go all out for you. I don't think you would be able to command anything. I just don't see it. I just don't see it at all. I guess we appreciate you doing I don't know if it's the Rooney Rule thing. I don't know because Leslie Frazier is coming up Monday, I believe. I just don't see the Robert Saleh. Now, if we're talking about the defensive coordinator, if somebody were to be the head coach and they were meshing and bonding with Saleh, I would be intrigued with the defensive coordinator position because I thought he would have pretty good defenses. And I thought the Jets defense weren't terrible in New York as well. So Robert Saleh, as far as the head coach position in Dallas Cowboy, that's a no for me. I think he'll be a head coach, but it's just not in Dallas. I just don't think it's just, no, I don't see it. So for me, I don't think it happens, and I don't want that, in my opinion. Next up, we got Leslie Frazier, who's, I believe, the DC over there at Buffalo. Was the head coach with the Minnesota Vikings for about 4 years, from 2010 to 2014. Had one winning season over there in 2012. I believe they made the playoffs. They were 10-6 that year. Leslie Frazier, sorry. Don't have a chance at all. I don't even think he has a chance. 65 years old, and ain't really the age. I just feel like, nah. You didn't have success over there in Minnesota, but 1 year. You ain't gonna come over here and have no success in Dallas. And I think this is just a Rooney Rule interview. Just me, in my opinion, just a Rooney Rule. It's just to say we did it, got it out the way. But I feel like he absolutely has no chance at all with the Dallas Cowboys as a head coach. And I don't even want to go too far in it because there's no chance, in my opinion, that it even happens. So there's no point in having no long conversation about it. Whereas I think Saleh could have a chance as a defensive coordinator, not have a chance as the head coach. And now, just happened today, the Dallas Cowboys have requested to speak to Kellen Moore. All right, so like I said, I told y'all, 2019, when he became the offensive coordinator, go watch my videos. I think it was Cowboys Family. My Cowboys Family was on the video when we talked about it because I think even his wife said it the same time I did. When he became the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, because remember, Scott Linehan, he was that Scott Linehan prodigy. He was that Scott Linehan. He could be that guy here as far as that, and he just was ushered right in. And for me, in my opinion, I feel like Kellen Moore is just Jason Garrett Part 2. I said he was the guy that was going to be groomed. I just feel like he's Jason Garrett Part 2, the same way that Jason Garrett got hired 1 year over as a quarterback coach with the Miami Dolphins, had already been a Cowboys player, quarterback, didn't have a success, backup, had the one crazy game, just like Kellen Moore when he threw for 450 yards. Jason Garrett had the Thanksgiving Day. Man, damn, they look like they built alike. They ain't big dude. Like, everything just looks the same with them two. Young, I think he's like 35 still, 36. He's still young as hell. You know, like I said, ushered right in under Scott Linehan's wing. Right after Linehan left, came a succession. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, I wasn't the one that was killing Kellen Moore all the damn time about his offenses and the routes and the things of that nature. I never killed Kellen Moore in them streets. You know, there was a lot of people was hating on Kellen Moore. You know, we had videos. A lot of people was hating on Kellen Moore. A lot of people was hating on Kellen Moore. I wasn't one of them. I didn't think his offense was terrible. He had top offenses. He had top 10 offenses, top 5 offenses, rushing, receiving. I didn't think they were like dynamic. I didn't think they were like dynamic offenses, but they produced a lot of yards. Dak had big time numbers under there. He almost had 1,000 yards rusher. I think it was 22 or 23. They had 2. Ezekiel almost had 1,000. Tony Pollard had 1,000. So from that aspect, just like Jason Garrett had good offenses too. You know, they had offenses where they scored a lot of points. They produced a lot of yards, but it just looked I don't know, it was just stale. It just felt stale and boring. And that's what I got from that Jason Garrett to Kellen Moore. And I just feel like it's the exact same thing. And I just feel like he was their second boy wonder. He was going to be the one that was waiting in the wings. Remember, Boise State offered him to be the guy over there, and Jerry and them swooped in like, nah. And remember, when Mike McCarthy came over, they were like, you keep Kellen Moore. So, and they didn't want to get rid of Kellen Moore. That was Mike McCarthy. That was that power struggle. Mike McCarthy wanted to get rid of Kellen Moore, not the Joneses. And they definitely let everybody know that they did not want that. So, he was the prodigy. He went over there to San Diego for the 1 year. I don't know if it was that impressive, but we see him with the Eagles right now. They have the number 1 rushing offense, and everybody said he don't run the ball. They have the number 1 rushing offense with Saquon Barkley. But I don't know if that's him. That's just that you got a great offensive line over there in Philadelphia, and you got a top back in Saquon Barkley, so it makes sense. It's not Barkley is chopped liver. Saquon Barkley was a top drafted running back, and he's a very good running back. He's just never had a good team with him. Now he has a good team with him. When you're a great or good player and you get other great and good players around you, you start to shine. When you're with the Giants and you don't, you're going to struggle and look like you're not that guy. You get with the good team with talent, now that talent starts going up, and then we're like, okay, that's the real you. So I don't know if it's really Kellen Moore that's really the greatest play caller over there. It's just that you got really good talent and it looks really good. But kudos to him. So, like I said, I feel like he's been the prodigy. So I feel like he's the prodigal son coming home. I think he has a good chance as anybody to get this job because, like I said, the Joneses didn't want him to leave. I feel like he was the guy in waiting. And I said this since 2019, it's 2025. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm not with that. I think Kellen Moore is just a coordinator. I think that's just what he is. Everybody ain't a head coach. Everybody ain't built to be a head coach. And just because you coach some really good offenses don't mean you have what it takes to be the head coach. I think the thing is, though, if they did bring in Kellen Moore, I think they would give him the keys and stuff. And you know why? They would probably give him keys or give him things to be able to do or work with him, because then they're going to say, that was our guy. So since it was our guy, we want to prove the whole world that he was our guy from the beginning and we never wanted to let him go. They'll make concessions for him just to prove that they're right. Not because he's going to be that dynamic coach, but just to prove they're right. They'll start doing some things for him that maybe they don't do for some other coaches to prove that they're right about their call, about the coach that they had in waiting. So it ain't about just the success. It's about always, we're showing you we're right and we told you so. And Dallas Cowboys love to do it. Don't tell me the front office don't like doing that. Yeah, they do. That's why they don't get rid of players when they trade for them, and they ain't flop because they don't want to ever look like they made the mistake. So that's why I think of Kellen Moore. If he came to Dallas, it's whatever. I don't think he'll win games, but he ain't going nowhere. He ain't winning nothing. He ain't gonna win no championship here. Damn sure ain't going no Super Bowl winning nothing. No, you just don't. I feel like you just don't command the locker room like that, in my opinion. Kellen Moore just don't command the locker room. Not for me. I'm not in the locker room, so I don't know. But from the outside looking in, I'm sorry. You just ain't command no locker room for me. If I was a player, I ain't looking at you like you commanded no kind of locker room for me. That's just me. You goofy. You look goofy. Maybe that's a wrong thing to say. He look goofy to me. I ain't following you. That's just me. So that's what I think about that. The Deion Sanders thing, people are saying, Adam Schefter, my guy hit me up and said, Ed Werder said it, that if Dallas were really offered the job to Deion Sanders, that he would take it. I hear what they're saying, and Ed Werder is the real deal, but I don't know. My homie said, I don't know if I think it was Mel, my dog. He said, I don't know if he would be the head coach, because if he's coaching the Dallas Cowboys and the Giants draft Shador, he ain't going to be whooping that ass over there. He ain't. And you know how much he loves his boys. And I started thinking like, yeah, that would be tough because you love his boys. He love his boys. And I don't know, he don't want to see his boys get hurt, especially he's sitting in the pain with Michael Parsons, them going after him every play and him getting smacked. Oh, that'd be tough That's the only thing that I feel Mel when he said that, dog. Shout out to you, Mel. You made me really think about that. Like, would he really do it? That's something that would be remain to be seen. But I still want Deion Sanders. Like I said, I don't care what none of y'all say about that. I want Deion. Now, my last dark horse before I get up off here that's came into play is Aaron Glenn from the Detroit Lions. Now, I didn't ever mention Aaron Glenn because I didn't think there was even really going to be a chance. I didn't know if there was really going to be interest. You know, they talked about how Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, because Dallas held on to Mike McCarthy too long, which I don't know why they did that. They held on him too long, and it missed their window for them to interview Glenn or Ben Johnson, who Ben Johnson I don't think even think about coming here. But I think Aaron Glenn, I think definitely would come to the Dallas Cowboys. So I think he would hold off. So as much as people was having oh man, see, we missed that window. Now you got to wait. Don't let them be distracted. Let them try to win the chip. I hate when they interview coaches when they're trying to concentrate on winning a game, because that just throws everything off, and I don't like that. So let him kind of coach and let him do his thing, and let's watch him. You feel me? Let's watch, because this could be their Super Bowl year. And if they fall short in that defense, you know, that could change some things. But that's the main thing I said in my heart. Let's wait it out and let's see. But Aaron Glenn, 52 years old, bam. I like that. Also, you know, he's around my age. He's definitely young enough. He's been the guy in the past, 3-4 years with Detroit, built it from the ground up. I love his interview where he said, I ain't just no defensive coach. I do the offense too. I'm just much offense as defense, so don't label me as no defensive coach. Don't put me in that box as a defensive coach. I coach it all. And just listening to him, man, I got a healthy respect for him. I loved him as a player. Number 31, Aaron Glenn with them Jets, with them white sleeves, with the gloves. I always loved Aaron Glenn as a player. I believe he came out of Texas A&M too. I always loved Aaron Glenn as a player. So when he came over to Dallas, Bill Parcells became the head coach. He brought Aaron Glenn too. I liked his little short time. I always just said I always liked Aaron Glenn. But at the end of the day, man, you know, Aaron Glenn, I feel like he's a disciplinarian. I think he could do really good things with Dak. I think he'd be a good head coach here in Dallas. And, you know, Dallas hasn't had a minority coach ever. That would be groundbreaking. And I think if you're going to do that, that's the guy you want to go with, not the Leslie Frazier, not the Robert Saleh. The Aaron Glenn is the one you want to go with. Even though Saleh is only 45, I just feel like Aaron Glenn, something about him. I feel like he commands respect from his players. He was a damn good player in the NFL. He commands the respect. I think he has a good, healthy, authoritative voice. I like him. I don't know what else to say. I heard his interview. He said, hey, you either like it or not. I don't care because I got a good spot right here. And if it works out, we'll look at it. And I definitely feel like if the Cowboys put an interview to Aaron Glenn because he rejected the Patriots, kudos to you for rejecting the Patriots because that was some BS what they did to Mayo. And I know Mayo wasn't the greatest, but it still was wrong. So I'm glad that he rejected it. But if the Dallas Cowboys came calling Aaron Glenn, I definitely think he would take the interview. And I definitely think he would, if they offered him the job, he would take it. In my opinion, he would. So Deion Sanders, Aaron Glenn, those are my choices as of right now. And one last thing, if we keep on hearing about, I don't know if this is true, where Mike McCarthy, James Slater said Mike McCarthy, when they had the meeting, that this was the deal. You can come here and continue to be the coach, but we're going to bring on Jason Witten. He's going to be the coach in waiting. And he was just like, I'm going the opposite direction. I don't know how true that is, but I'm going to say this again. I don't want Jason Witten here as a head coach. You coach high school, bruh. You ain't put no work in the NFL, no college, no nothing. And if he brings you in here after doing that and you ain't did no grunt work, that's going to be an absolute train wreck. And I just don't want Jason Witten here. I don't like him as I don't care for Witten. I'm sorry. That's just me. I apologize if y'all don't like it because he's it's Jason Witten. He ain't like that with me. He ain't like that with me. I didn't like when he came back out of retirement. I don't really care for him. I just don't care for him. And I don't want him coming to the Dallas Cowboys as a head coach. And if he does become the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, I am absolutely out and done watching the Cowboys if he becomes the head coach. So as I said before, no to Jason Witten, and if he becomes a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, I'm definitely done with Dallas. I'm already hedging right now. But if you brought in Jason Witten as the head coach, I am all the way out on the Dallas Cowboys. And I don't care what y'all, if y'all don't like it, that's fine. Y'all won't be Jason? No, not me. I'm done. So, that being said, wait a little bit longer, but check out the video. Tell me who y'all would like to be the head coach. Jump in the comments. Tell me who y'all would like. Give me a little reason why, and let's have some good back and forth in the comments. Whoever y'all like is cool. That's y'all who y'all like. I may not agree and not like it, but that's all good. I like to hear other people's perspective on what they like. So please check this video out. Jump in the comments and tell me who would you like to be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and do you like any of the candidates that they're already doing now? Big Game James, I'm out. Peace.